Good morning, everyone. Thank you for everyone being present and welcome to an Energizer. I was smiling to myself when I realized that an Energizer is a thing that drives my electric fence. When I chose the name Energizer, I promise you I didn't make the connection. So sometimes I suppose we really need to be energized by something that drives our electric fence so that we can spark. So welcome this morning to another Energizer and a special request from Stanley. Thank you very much, Stanley. I'm very pleased that I have the space in my diary to be able to bring you this extra Energizer this morning. And what a wonderful feeling it is to feel supported, that someone has the enthusiasm for what I offer to actually ask for it. You know, people send me emails to tell me that they forget about the Energizer. So it's so welcome to receive such enthusiasm that you are present and that you are excited about what I have to share. So thank you so much for that. That really means a lot to me. So I love being in the presence of complementary energy. Have you ever thought of energy as being complementary? Now, I invite you to go forward to think about how many things you can actually deliver with compliments. That you can say I'm saying this morning to you with compliments from Mama C, with compliments from your heart, with compliments when you think about what you gift and what you share, and you can say, I'm doing it with compliments. You know, come join me this morning in the Cosmic Kitchen. And we are cooking and we are serving soul food. And it gets hot in this kitchen. No mistake. I'm not always going to tell you what you want to hear. That's one of the things about me. You know, I have a currency, and my currency, I'm not going to say yet Sunday morning, so I will spare you that one. So come sit at the table. It is warm. It is welcoming. The soul food is amazing. It always serves your life and it nourishes your soul. So give yourself permission to be here now, in the now. That's why I ask you to be present, so you can be here in the now, that you can listen and receive, and that you can grow and that you can prosper. So that's why I'm doing this, and I started this 3 years ago now when COVID began. As soon as COVID was announced and the lockdown happened, I started doing the Sunday Energizers once I realized that this technology was available. Because I didn't even know that I could do this. So COVID gifted me this platform to talk to all of you this morning. And I'm so blessed to be able to say that it's from around the world, really. And the thought for today is everything I desire is within me right now. I open my thoughts. I open my arms, because in order to receive someone, you need to open your arms and welcome them in. And I receive the gifts meant for me, just for me. So say that for me. Say that with me. Everything I desire is within me right now. I open my thoughts. I open my arms. And I receive the gifts meant for me, just for me, exclusively for me. And I keep and maintain my thoughts upward, beyond just positive, because positive is not a word that I use anymore. I keep my words upward, beyond positive. I trust everything I want. It's already here for me. My birthright demands it. My birthright, and it's designated for me. I keep and maintain my thoughts upward. I no longer use the word positive. You know, when you contracted COVID, you were positive. Our psyche no longer relates to the word positive. I now use the word upward instead. So now I'm going to invite you wherever you are, whether you're sitting, whether you're lying, whether you're in your bed, whether you're having coffee and rusks in bed. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and let your body feel deeply and completely relaxed. And then I want you to imagine that you're sinking into the arms of Mother Earth, of Mother Nature, and feel her hug you with her gravity, because that's how she loves us. Mother Earth loves us with her gravity. She's holding us close so we can feel safe, we can feel open, and we can feel ready. And then to silently say to you, to yourself, I drop any resistance. And again, open your hands and drop it. I drop any resistance and drop it. I drop any resistance to receiving and I drop it, allowing my prayers to be answered. It is safe for me to feel. It is safe for me to be happy. Good. Now give permission to feel wonderfully energized and pleasantly surprised today. What feeling do you want to feel right now? Feel it. The how is not your business. What feeling do you want to feel right now? Feel it. The how is not your business. Feel it. And give permission for wonderful things to come into your life, for amazing miracles and wondrous experiences to find you and to find you worthy and available. Trust in divine timing. Often, a series of actions and responses must occur in order for your prayers to be answered, especially when there are other people involved in this process. This phenomenon is called divine timing, and it's similar to the stages necessary for a seed to sprout or to germinate. There is an incubation period. It's required for all life to begin. Please apply and gift your patience and continue to nurture your heart's desires with love. Like a seed that is sprouting, trust in divine timing. Please apply and gift your patience and continue to nurture your heart's desires with love. Use up-vibed thinking and guided action. What is guided action? When you know, you do. When you know, you do. When you know and trust the process. Sometimes the process traverses through problematic and stressful life conditions. It's how it works here. None of us are exempt. We are no longer exempt from chaos. We need to now choose what chaos we want to experience in our lives. So trust the process. No one is exempt. We are all tested for our resolve. There is no exclusivity in misery. There is no exclusivity in misery. Because when you feel miserable, you think nobody else can feel that. Just me. All alone in this. No, there's no exclusivity in misery. Misery is available 6 by the dozen and free of charge on every street corner. You can collect as much as you want. Know your prayers are delivered. Know it. It is a promise made to us. Ask and you shall receive. But it doesn't happen the way you think. And divine timing is not subject to time as we know it. It tells us 1,000 years can be the same as 1 minute, and 1 minute can be the same as 1,000 years. And now you can see it for yourself, because in the evolution of our earth, what took a billion years ago, now takes nanoseconds for the same evolution to happen. So don't think in terms of time when I'd say trust divine timing. Divine timing is not subject to earth time. Know your prayers are delivered. As I speak these words, it never happens the way you think. Divine timing ensures that you are always provided with everything you need. Your life is proof of this. Sadly, mostly you become aware of this truth only in retrospect, after you see the proof. And in faith, with a deep sense of knowing, you can give yourself this undertaking right now, that you are always given everything you need to make it through whatever chaos, whatever problem, whatever challenge you are facing. You are always provided with everything you need to get through it. Even when you think, this time I'm done, this time I'm done, I'm not going to make it through this time. And this is a promise I can guarantee you, you will never be given more than you can handle. Not ever. You will never be given more than you can handle. Not ever. Especially when you're faced with the death of loved ones. That is one of the most traumatic events for all of us to go through, and yet it's an absolute on this planet. I just want to say to you that in the event that there's going to be technical problems, because, with load shedding, the system is not always stable, and there can sometimes also be some interference. I just want to say to you that I will continue with the recording, and if anything should happen, then I will continue with the recording, and then I will send you the recording. But most of the time you can check in again, because I just continue. So let's begin. Feeling sorry for yourself happens often. And the more you feel sorry for yourself, the more you complain and lament. I cannot believe this is happening to me again. I can't believe that I have to go through this again. And please, I'm not sitting here judging you. I teach best, but I need to learn most. This is what I say. I can't believe this is happening to me again. Why must it always be happening to me? Same shit, different day. Misery and pity, regret and shame. And then follows guilt. Because once you see how unreasonable you are with yourself, you feel guilty and ashamed because you carried on like that, or you made such a fuss for nothing, and you feel so guilty. Because you could have, you should have, you would have, always could have, should have, would have. No, stop. I want you to now just smack your hands in front of your face like this and say stop. Stop. Could have is in the past. Should have is in the future. Would have is regret and excuses. And all this delivers you to feeling guilty somehow, somewhere. Another kind of missing out, because guilty is another kind of missing out. Good morning, Stanley. Guilty is another form of FOMO. I'm telling you, go look. It delivers you to feeling guilty, another kind of missing out. And guilt asks for punishment. You punish yourself with your words, with your state of mind, with the things that you speak over your own life. You regularly and spitefully withhold things from yourself without realizing it, or it's not registering. It's a withhold, and a withhold creates separation. Let me show you what I mean. I want to show you the 4 agreements anyway, because I want to encourage you all to read this book. And I think one of it was Deb's from Canada. She posted this on the group, on the Monday night group, and it's an audio book. She posted the audio book, so you can listen to it there. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It's the most amazing book I've ever read. So, you regularly and spitefully withhold things from yourself without realizing at all. And a withhold creates separation. So look now, if I'm now withholding from myself to have this book, okay, there's the book. Look at the separation between me and the book. Whatever you withhold from yourself, it cannot come to you because there's something that's holding it away. And when it's held away like this, there's a separation and there's a gap. And when you live with that gap, you always feel like you are in overwhelm, that you have to cope with things. And yes, then you are missing out. Then you are missing out on the bounty, on the abundance, on the untold riches and wealth that this planet, this earth offers every one of us to enjoy. So this morning I have chosen and I've elected to read for you from the last pages of the 4 agreements. It's not long, and I'd like to start our session today with the words on, it's called the prayer for love. We are going to share a beautiful dream together, a dream that you will love to have all of the time. In this dream, you are in the middle of a beautiful, warm, sunny day. You hear the birds, the wind, and a river. Not a massive Amazon river, just a little river flowing by. You walk towards the river. At the edge of the river is an old man in meditation. And you see that out of his head comes a beautiful light of different colors. You don't want to bother him, but he notices your presence and he opens his eyes. He has the kind of eyes that are full of love and a big smile. You ask him, how is he able to radiate all that beautiful light? You ask him if he can teach you to do what he's doing. He replies that many, many years ago, he asked the same question of his teacher. The old man begins to tell you a story. My teacher opened his chest and took out his heart, and he took a beautiful flame from his heart. Then he opened my chest, opened my heart, and he put that little flame inside it. He put my heart back in my chest, and as soon as my heart was inside me, I felt intense love. Because the flame he put in my heart was his own love. That flame grew in my heart and became a big, big fire. A fire that doesn't burn, but purifies everything that it touches. And that fire touched one of the cells, and each one of the cells in a special way in my body. And the cells of my body loved me back. I became one with my body, but my love grew even more. The fire touched every emotion of my mind, and all the emotions transformed into a strong and intense love. And I loved myself completely and unconditionally with my thoughts, my emotions, and my feelings. But the fire kept burning, and I had the need to share my love. I decided to put a little piece of my love in every tree, and the trees loved me back. And I became one with the trees, but my love did not stop. It grew more. I put a piece of my love in every flower, in the grass, in the earth, and they loved me back. And we became one. And my love grew more and more to love every animal in the world. And they responded to my love and they loved me back. And we became one. But my love kept growing and growing. I put a piece of my love in every crystal, in every stone in the ground, in the dirt, in the metals, and they loved me back. And I became one with the earth. And then I decided to put my love in the water, in the oceans, in the rivers, in the rain, in the snow. And they loved me back, and we became one. And still my love grew more and more, and I decided to give my love to the air, to the wind, and I felt a strong communion with the earth, with the wind, with the oceans, with nature, and my love grew and grew. I turned my head to the sky, to the sun, to the stars, and put a little piece of my love in every star, in the moon, in the sun, and they loved me back. And I became one with the moon and the sun and the stars, and my love kept growing and growing. And I put a little piece of my love in every human, and I became one with the whole of humanity. Whatever and wherever I go, whomever I meet, I see myself in their eyes because I'm part of everything, because I love. And then the old man opens his chest, takes out his heart with a beautiful flame inside, and he puts that flame in your heart. And now that love is growing inside of you. Now you are one with the wind, the water, with the stars, with all of nature, with the animals, with all humans. You feel that heat and that light emanating from the flame in your heart. Out of your head shines a beautiful light of different colors, and you are radiant with the glow of love, and you pray. You pray. You say. You invoke. Thank you, Creator of the universe, for the gift of life you have given me. Thank you for giving me everything that I've ever truly needed. Thank you for the opportunity to experience this beautiful body that will only ever exist once only in all of eternity, just like your fingerprints, the only. Thank you for this wonderful mind, this mind that operates between two temples, a sacred space in which I am able to manifest and bring about and create as a co-creator. Thank you for living inside me with all your love, with your pure and boundless spirit, infinite, with your warm and radiant light. Thank you for using my words, for using my eyes. For using my eyes, for using my heart to share your love wherever I go. Complimentary. I love you just the way you are. And because I am your creation, I love myself just the way I am. Guide me and keep the love and the peace in my heart to make that love a new way of life, that I may live in love for the rest of my life. Amen. Isn't this man amazing? It brings tears to my eyes. Sacred moments. So, let's continue. We all have such an unhealthy relationship with boredom. Ooh, you can hear the kids all the time. I'm so bored. I'm so bored. I'm so bored. We all have such an unhealthy relationship with boredom. Since childhood, being bored was a really bad thing and was to be avoided at all costs. So hence today, most adults suffer with a constant need for busyness. Can you now see where it comes from? You can't sit still for a minute. You sit for 2 minutes and then you jump up and then, oh, I must go to the kitchen, and then you're in the bedroom and what was I coming to do here again? Since childhood, being bored was a really bad thing and was to be avoided at all costs. So today we all suffer from this need for busyness. And some people validate themselves with how busy they are. I now make a concerted effort and I encourage the people that I share my life with on a regular basis to find ways to become unbusy, to find moments of stillness, and even sometimes to feel bored. So for many of us, it's almost impossible to sit still by now and do nothing, much less relax. You know, I don't advocate meditation. And I do lots of guided meditations. We just reading to you from the Four Agreements was like a guided meditation. But to do proper meditation, you need to do nothing about nothing. I just want to make a comment here now. If you're going to be writing me things in the chat box, I'm not wearing my glasses right now, so I can't even see my own face on the screen. Never mind what you're writing in the chat box. So I'll have a look just now, but I don't engage with things while I'm working here, so please forgive me. I don't multitask that well. Especially not without my glasses. But I need my glasses to read my notes. Oh, catch-22. You see, that always comes as well. It's a catch-22. Whether you do, you damned. Whether you don't, you damned. So we have all such an unhealthy relationship with boredom. So for many of us, it's almost impossible to sit still and do nothing, much less relax. So for me, meditation is doing nothing about nothing. If you can manage to do nothing about nothing, just sit and do nothing about nothing, not about your thinking, not about what's going on around you. If you can be safe to just sit and do nothing about nothing, then you become pure awareness. Because then it's a magic thing. When you can manage it, you suddenly go into this, and everything is there. Wow, infinitely so. You are in the ever present, the infinite ever in present now. Doing nothing about nothing. You can also be in the ever present now by living your life, of course. But in order to get there, you need to be taught. So we have a process where we learn to go into that space, where we go into the and touch something within yourself which cannot be explained. It can only be experienced. And to get there, you start by just doing nothing about nothing. 10 minutes a day. No more. You don't need to. You can do 2 minutes a day. Have you ever just counted to 20 and see how long that is? Just count slowly to 20. You'll be amazed how long that feels. So doing nothing about nothing is a wonderful thing to, to introduce into your life so that you can really again connect with pure awareness, because that's what the now is. The present moment, being present, is pure awareness. Occasional boredom can actually be good. By allowing yourself to be bored even for an hour or less, it is so easy to shift and create a new context. When you can just allow yourself to be bored. When you're bored, you're really not engaging with life. You're not, most people that are chronically bored have got such a fear of failure. That's why they're bored, because then they don't have to do anything. Because while you're bored, you're not doing anything either. You're just complaining. That's really what boredom is. It's just chronic complaining in the space of doing nothing about nothing. The law of polarity. It catches me every time. The opposites, of this earth reality. So you can replace your feelings of boredom. You can replace those feelings of boredom with a feeling of just peacefulness. That right now there isn't anything that demands anything of you, or that wants anything from you, or that you have to be somewhere, or that you have to be something. You can just be, doing nothing about nothing. And once you master that, you'll be doing nothing about nothing while you're doing your life. And then you're in that ever-present moment, in that vast awareness that encompasses all that's ever been and will be. The beauty of doing nothing is that it teaches you to clear your mind and relax your brain. Just like your body, your mind needs occasional relaxation, a break from this hectic earth routine. Because your brain is the bridge to your consciousness. The brain is that bridge across forever, like Richard Bach calls it. You know, it's that's why we wear a ring that is a circle. It's a bridge across forever. It never stops. It continuously bridges. You know, it's my truth that even when we pass on, our soul crosses the golden bridge into the light. I don't think we cross a river. The rivers are here on earth. We cross the golden bridge into the light. That's my truth. I think that's how it happens. There's no treacherous rivers or dark rivers to cross. That's just the way they want us to be afraid of wonderful things that await us all, you know. So you relax your brain just like your body, and your mind needs an occasional break from this hectic earth routine, because you're a sacred consciousness. That's why this is called temples, because this is your sacred space, your brain. What happens here, the neural pathways, the synapses, the processes that happen as a physical spark, because it's energy. Your brain can generate enough energy in a lifetime to light up a small dorp in the Free State for a month. That's quite a lot of energy, even though it's a small dorp, you know. So there you go. Give your mind an occasional break from this hectic earth routine. And that's really what I want the Energizer to do for you. I want you to be able to recognize and see and create wonderful options that you have, because you give things a new context. It doesn't take a long time to change anything. You know, I'll get over it in time. It's got fuck all to do with time. You get over it when you choose to. And you get over it when you change the context. Because you've taken the concept, which is hurt and pain, and I've lost my love, and, you know, our relationship broke up, or we got divorced, or you know, my son died. I've got to, that's the fact. Now look at the truth, because the truth is the context, and you must give it the context. The truth is, my son died, and I need to respect him because it's his journey through life. I can't expect that my son must live because it must keep me happy. I need to have respect for that soul and its journey. Of course I'm going to mourn. I was saying to him last night when I was sitting preparing for this morning how much I miss him. Of course I'm going to miss him. But respect is complimentary. It's something that you give for free. It's this complimentary light that pours from you. And so many people are withholding what is complimentary. It's not for you to withhold because it doesn't belong to you. So be generous with gratitude, and be generous with respect, and appreciate what life so generously bestows on you, because it's so easy to take things for granted. It's not a good habit to take things that serve your life and that is good for you and that serves you, to take it for granted. Because life is going to revisit that upon you. Whatever you take for granted that is significant and important in your life, it's not a good option. Fact versus truth, concept versus context. So I want you to repeat to yourself now, my life is not an emergency. Life is not an emergency. And now you can say, because now you know that life is not an emergency. Because when you say not, life doesn't recognize the not. So life is going to say your life is an emergency. You must never say not to things or don't. Life doesn't understand that. It only hears, you know, the Creator didn't say, let there not be darkness. The Creator said, let there be light. Nowhere in creation, when things are being created, do you hear words of don't and not and, oh my God, all of those, you know? Now that you know that your life is not an emergency, now you can say, life is good to me. I give myself permission to receive my highest good. Life is not an emergency. Life actually continues and goes on, even when things are not going according to plan. Did you know that? Life actually continues when things are not going according to plan. It didn't stop because it's not engaged with emergency. It continues. And that's what we need to do. We need to continue, and we need to up-vibe ourselves out of the emergencies of life. Because my God, there are many. And then it's panic stations and anxiety and stress and panic and oh my God, how am I going to do this now? How am I going to get through this now? Forgetting. There's the concept. It's an emergency. But the context is I will never be given more than I can handle. I can relax. It all gets done in the end. And I can do it when I'm relaxed and I'm in my present moment consciousness and I'm in the ever-present now. I am in full awareness. I am here. And when you are here, you are powerful. Because when you apply what's between the temples, the sacred space, and that's what I called my business when someone first said to me, you must have a business card, many years ago, I called it sacred space. There's Very first business card. Sacred space, and at the bottom it says, life is a grand mystery. Life is a great mystery with an infinite number of possibilities. This was my very first business card. My phone number on there is still the same. So I called this a sacred space because, why? Because this is what I see as your sacred space, what's between your temples. Now I call this space the spiral ease, spiralis, because we are in an open spiral with our mind. And look what we're doing. Be aware of the feeling of being consistently displeased, because that's what emergencies do to you. Curveballs, problems, challenges, load shedding, no water, all the service delivery issues that we have, the political unrest, the crime, everything that you presented with on a daily basis. Emergencies. And we eventually start living our life as an emergency. And people have constant panic attacks and anxiety. They don't know how to cope with life. And cope is not even a word I use, because it means that you compromise of my powerful expression, of my powerful excellence, of my powerful enthusiasm. Cope is not a good word. All that you need to look at, yes, the concept is here, emergency. Look at the context. Look at the truth. I'm consistently displeased because things are not happening the way I want. It's chaos. And then you blame and you accuse. I do too. I blame the government and I blame load shedding and I had a very problematic session yesterday with a client with load shedding. It's really not a pleasant experience. And then nothing feels enough. It's not enough. And then comes the disapproval, constantly displeased, constantly. And look how you're in the same shit, different day scenario. You will not win the approval of everyone you meet. You're not going to always have the approval of the process that you are engaged in. It's going to say to you, no. It's going to say to you, it's not going to happen this way. It's not always going to give you the thumbs up. Sometimes the river needs to flow in a different direction. That's how it works on earth. And it changes its path. Even a river can do that. You will meet people that will get angry with you. Why? Because you need to say no to them. You need to say to them, where's your awareness? Don't keep asking me for an email that I've already sent you 5 times. Go and look. Where's your awareness? Your ideas may get rejected. It is really okay not to have the final say all the time. Life doesn't always need to happen the way you think. It's not how it works here. Imagine if life had to happen the way we all think. There's 8 billion of us. Already there's so much chaos. You have come to slot into a system that already existed when you arrived here. It's not going to change itself for you, but that's how we raise our children, because parents constantly want to keep their children happy. They don't teach them that this is the system that works here and they must slot into it, because as adults they battle, because they think life must please them all the time. It doesn't work like that. It's really okay not to have the final say all the time. Choose to be kind over being right. Be good to yourself. Be kind. Be complimentary. Be generous. Be genuine. Then you become a genius. When you are authentic, you are immediately in the space of genius. Because people who have the guts and the courage to be authentic, we experience them as geniuses. Look at old Einstein's hair. He didn't bother what his hair looks like. He was a genius. didn't care about how he looks and what people would think about. His face is not for himself anyway. He didn't care what people think of how he looks. He was using his body to be able to bring complimentary. He didn't charge anyone for what he shared. He left us with a legacy. None of us are paying for it. You don't pay for the truth. The session is free. And the reason why, I'm sitting in the space of Stanley, who offers all of the knowledge to all of us for free. It's the most wonderful thing. And it's something that I wish I could do. The reason why I charge for things is so that I can sit here this morning and have the space from which to work. And I only charge to be able to sustain myself. If I don't need the money, I don't charge. Because I always have enough. And I'm wealthy beyond measure. Just to be able to have health this morning, to be able to sit again. Because I created for myself some hectic sciatica because of the way I was stressing about and not having electricity for 5 days a week ago. I got myself into such a test. I even got sciatica. Couldn't sit, couldn't lie, couldn't walk. I made sure that I was in an emergency of note. And I can't go anywhere because there's no power. Can't leave the house on its own with no security when there's no power in the entire area. So you see, double whammy. So choose to be kind over being right. And be good to yourself. You don't need to declare everything such a huge emergency. We haven't got an inkling, not even an inkling, what it means to live in a place where emergency is at the order of the day. In the war-torn regions of our world, there's so many. Everybody's focusing on the Ukraine. There's war all over the planet. Syria, Afghanistan, Iran. There's war all over the planet, and mostly in the Middle East. Interesting. The Bible was also, one of the sacred books, also lots of war continuously right through the Bible was people were at war with each other in the Middle East. To this day, hasn't changed. Israel, Jordan, religious wars in India, people killing each other for no reason. Ireland, to this day, I remember how it used to upset me as a child when we used to listen on the radio, how they were fighting about religion in Ireland. Those days when I was a child, it was really hectic. They blew each other up with bombs and it was terrible. You do not need to like someone to be kind. No need to convince of your importance, of your worth. If you know your importance and you know your worth, it's okay. It's taken me a long, long time to get here. To say it's okay doesn't mean that I mustn't notice and be aware. Because if I see, I call it. But consistency is something that goes hand in hand with authenticity. And when sudden changes occurs, you need to sit up and take note. Because this is the way the soul communicates. It doesn't think. The more you want to prove yourself, the more others will want to avoid you. My own life is testimony of that. And it's really okay today for me if someone wants to avoid me. Because when I was getting ready this morning, I thought to myself, I always speak to I talk to myself a lot. And I was thinking about several people in my life, and I was wondering, what will happen if a UFO comes and picks me up tomorrow and I just disappear? Because lots of people are disappearing off the planet at the moment. They don't talk about it, but it's happening. So I wondered what would happen if a UFO picked me up tomorrow morning and take me off the planet. You know, I wondered if those particular people that I was thinking about would miss me. And then I looked at a few people in my life and whether I would miss them if they were no longer in my life. It's an interesting exercise to do, because that's when you really see who is complementary in your life and who shows up when you have a difficulty, who comes through for you, because those are the people that you will miss. Many of the people in your life, if you don't ever hear from them or see them again, you won't miss them, because they didn't really make a contribution. They're not complementary people. It's hard to be complimentary if it's not in your nature, and it's okay. But understand that that's going to give you a result. That's a context that you choose to live your life by. And I call people on it, and then I call them takers. And they get very angry with me. Because if you don't give, if you're not a giver, you're a taker. And the first time I came across this was 1987. When the first time I did a giver-taker process, where we were taught in an experiential context about giving and taking. And I'm very blessed that I was gifted that experience so early in my life. I was 30 years old. It changed my whole life because it gave me an awareness that I never had. The more you want to prove yourself, the more others will want to avoid you. When you're in a state of wanting to prove yourself, you become very pushy and very demanding and very in your faceness. Needy and complaining and accusing and blaming. There's no need to prove yourself. You know and do. When you know, you do. There's no need to prove yourself. Have a quiet inner confidence because you can. When life calls you to do something, you can, because you're resilient, you're tenacious, you've got consistency, you've got the will, willingness, being available. It gives you the capacity. So how is not your business? You just need to be willing and available. Be willing and show up because you need to be present. It's not something that you can do when you are in England. You can't deal with stuff in Joburg. Not in the physical, that is. Well, not yet. So have a quiet inner confidence because you can. You are capable. You have the willingness. You're available. You have the capacity. You came to join me here this morning for an hour. I'm almost done. I'll honor the hour. So agree to hand and to thank the criticism. Give it your hand. Talk to the hand. Agree and thank the criticism and look how it quietly slips away. It wants to be seen, it wants to be heard, and it wants to be acknowledged. That criticism is very much part of your of the thinking mind, of the brain. Because the criticism is the way that the brain relates. It has to be. It's an instrument that works by association. And most of the time, criticism is something that the brain goes and fetches for you to look at. That's why the thoughts are happening in your head. That's how your brain, the synapses, they go and they find the information, just like a computer, they go find it, blah, 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 and then they bring it back and they say, here it is. And then you're looking at something that comes from your past. So agree and thank the criticism. And then look how it quietly slips away. consider this. When there's no resistance, what's the use of resisting? When there's nothing to oppose, what's the use of opposing? You need something to oppose. If there's no opposing, there's nothing to oppose. You know, the sound of one hand clapping. There's nothing to oppose. It needs another hand to clap. It needs something to oppose it. When there's no resistance, what's the use of resisting? If you don't have any resistance here, if you don't oppose things, if you are complementary, if you are available, if you are willing and available, you have the capacity. Life doesn't have to come and test you with things that's going to oppose you. What for? Where there's no resistance, what's the use of resisting? Your life is your message. Then the need to explain why things are not happening to you simply vanish. I'll say that again. Your life is your message. Then the need to explain and justify why things are not happening for you, it simply vanishes. When your integrity and your principles and your standards and your values are integrated, your conduct is harmonious because you're giving yourself the truth. The context is pure. Then your conduct is harmonious and the construct is something beautiful to look at. It's complementary. It adds value. Your prosperity and money easily flows to you. It's in constant flow. It never stops. You're the one who creates the withhold. You're the one who puts the block. You're the one who puts the thing between you and that you want to receive with the energy that you're vibrating with. That you're putting out this, you're not being complimentary, you're withholding. It stops the flow. The flow is there whether you are in it or not. The flow doesn't give a shit. Whether you can use it or not, it's flowing. The tree's not going to ask you, are you in the mood for plums this year? It's going to have some plums. All the plum trees in the world's going to grow plums. It's not going to care whether you like plums or not. When your integrity and your principles are integrated, your conduct is harmonious and prosperity and money easily flows to you. When you live by integrity and true principles, commandments, you have the approval of real trustworthy people. You associate yourself with people where you feel more and more that you can trust yourself. It's not about trusting them. It's about trusting yourself. People who have your best interest at heart shows up in your life. They show up for you. You can see them now complimentary. It's inevitable. And there are people that you will miss if suddenly they're not there anymore. You will miss their absence because they show up in your life. They are present. I've created spaces just on WhatsApp for people to be present. And you know how many people have left the space because I challenged them on being present. They don't like it when I challenge them on their absence because they don't want to know that they're absent. I mustn't tell them that they're not present because they've got every excuse under the sun why that is so. But the actual agreement of the space before they join is you must be present. This is the core agreement of the space. And now I've decided, it's a decision. I will no longer be present either in that space. And I will withdraw my energy from the space. I will give it back to them. It's also the ones who are not present. Because they challenge me on having to challenge them that they are not present. That's why, otherwise they won't be doing it. And there's no need for that kind of confrontation ever in life. Choose to be kind over being right. People who have your best interest at heart, it's inevitable they show up. There's a difference between approval and appreciation. I'm almost done. There's a difference between approval and appreciation. Approval requires so many demands of you to prove yourself continually. And it's very, very difficult to be in a relationship that is subject to approval. Because you have to prove yourself all the time. I'm not talking here about agreements. If you have agreements, it's a different story. It's got nothing to do with approval. Because if you're in relationships, if you live your life based on needing the approval of others to feel good about yourself, then there's so much pressure and desperation always in your thinking processes. Because you need to constantly think of ways to get approval. The difference is when you know you do. You don't need approval. When you know, you do. And when you know, you know. You know. When something is true for me, when I know that my word is my honor, I know that, then I do. You do great things. You are appreciated. Appreciation only needs to be received. That's all. It's an effortless space. And appreciation is a space where everything grows. It's complementary. You don't buy appreciation. I'm not talking about investments. I'm talking about appreciation given as a human energy, as an exchange of energy between humans. It's complementary. And yet, when something appreciates, when your investment appreciates, it becomes more. It's becoming more valuable. It's becoming more precious. It's becoming more of the stuff that we want to just keep. Self-sufficient means enough. When you are self-sufficient, you are enough for yourself because you provide for yourself enough so that you can be very complementary. Life never gives you more than you can handle. And your life is proof of that. When you are significant because of your authenticity, whatever you are asked to give up, you will be given something better instead. My own life is proof of it. We have our first blue moon this month, which means we've got 2 full moons in 1 month. And we are currently in the strawberry moon, which is why I'm lighting a light pink candle for you today. And the candle holder is a crown. You need to wear this crown with great pride because you are self-sufficient. When you are significant because of your authenticity, whatever you are asked to give up, you will be given something far better instead. Be fearless to let go of the things in your life that needs to go. Because you will always be rewarded with something better. Self-sufficiency means you have enough. You are self-sufficient. And when you are self-sufficient, you are enough for yourself. You are provided for. And you are appreciated. Because life loves self-sufficiency. It's how everything here on the planet works. That tree outside there is growing self-sufficiently. It's finding its own water in the earth. It's creating its own photosynthesis with the sun. It's self-sufficient. That's the way it works here. And it's enough. Thank you for being with me today. I went over just a tiny wee bit because it's lovely to receive abundance, isn't it? Let me just put on my glasses. Oh, I'm getting so many hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can see the hearts. That's so nice. It's like that light that comes out of the old man's head that we all now have, because I think the creator must be an old man for sure. And I had 27 people in the group today. Oh, it's the most people I've ever had on an Energizer. Thank you, thank you. It was fabulous to share this with you. You've made my day. Have a wonderful, self-sufficient life, everyone. Present moment consciousness. When you know, you do.